What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Reality Check Report. I'm your girl, Miss O, and if you can hear the background, my state is getting hit with a rainstorm right now. But nonetheless, I am here to give you what I said I was going to give you, and that is episode 6 review of the scene ATL. So, while the intro plays, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let somebody know I'm over here doing reviews. So we start the scene off with Scotty, who is meeting with his cousin Reggie and Cybar. It is so good to be able to put a face to a name, because if you are a part of the Scotty gang, Scotty talks about his cousin Reggie so much that I feel like he's a part of my damn family. But anywho, we love us some Reggie, so it's finally good to put a face to a name. Anywho, they meet in the middle of the day, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, in a hot summertime, to meet and go over some things and just catch up on what's been going on. So, after they get their pleasantries out the way, Reggie lets them know, look, I'm working, life is lifing. And Scotty tells Reggie that he's been stressing, and Reggie want to know why. And Scotty proceeds to tell him that it's not the book per se, because everything that he needs to pay for, he's paid for. It's the other things surrounding it, like his book launch, finding a location. So he ended up finding 2 locations, and the location that his best bitch Carl helped him find is going to end up being the one that he chooses for his book launch. So we do find out in the confessional that Scotty wrote his first book when he was 16 years old, and the name of that book was called Bitch Please. And Scotty, if you still got that manuscript, that might be something you might need to put out. It doesn't matter if you wrote it at 16 or not. But anywho, they discussed the menu for Scotty's event, and Scotty is like, I'm not trying to be bougie. I don't need no hors d'oeuvres. I want baby shower food. Baby, and if you don't know what baby shower food is, you got your meatballs, your macaroni pasta salad, you got your rotel, you might got some fried chicken with some spaghetti as well. So Scotty let it be known that he wants his book launch event honestly to be intimate. He only wants the friends and the family that has wholeheartedly supported him. And I could completely understand, because when you've worked so hard to develop something that has come to fruition, people are going to try to latch on and ride the train as long as they can. And it seems like that you have a great relationship with your cousin Reggie, and Reggie been here from the start, so he already had informed you about the come up. And he said people was gonna be trying to ride and figure out where they fit in and fit in at. Also, another thing that I discovered with watching Reggie and Scotty converse was that I don't think that Scotty was aware that his stories was also an outlet for Reggie, and it helped him get through the crappy life that they had to live together as cousins. So that is another great thing, to have somebody who wholeheartedly understands, what you're experiencing in your familyhood, what you experiencing in your friendhood, what you're experiencing in your personhood. It's really good to have somebody that is there, that is not going to judge you and be your sounding board. So in the confessional, Scotty did let us know that it's some people in his family that he ain't spoken to in years, and he just don't fuck with, who are trying to jump onto that train of fame, making false statements like, I knew you can do it and all this. And he like, how you know I can do some shit when you ain't even know I knew how to write? And maybe that's their way of trying to get in your life. But now that you set those boundaries and those boundaries are not to be crossed, I wouldn't get their ass another look. You don't fuck with my mama, so I'm fucking with you. But with all that being said, Reggie gave him some great advice, and it is really good to see a family connection some kind of way. It seems like Reggie is your go-to person, and like you stated in your confessionals, y'all get into it, y'all don't agree all the time, but at the end of the day, he's your ride or die, and he sits there and supports you. So make sure that you keep that intact. So moving along, we are going to go to the next scene, which is Carl, aka K-Star, and we see that Carl is meeting up with Bando at his favorite bar, Bulldogs. And if you're a part of the Scotty gang, if you watch the chasing panel, if you watch anything that Carl, Tramiel, Scotty, Josiah are a part of, y'all heard about Bulldogs before. It don't look too bad in there, might I add. But anyway, Bando and K-Star are meeting up, and once they get their pleasantries out the way, what you doing, what you been up to, life been life and working, this and that, this and that. Carl wanted to run something by Bando. He wanted to find out, is you sleeping with my man? Question. So, Carl remember at his listening party, the back and forth, that the banter that Bando and James had. And he thought it was kind of strange because he wanted to know, what was the true connection, what was going on there. And come to find out, Bando and James know each other. Well, let me rephrase that. James told Carl that he knows Bando, and Bando want to get the record straight, and I like how he got straight to the case. We don't know each other. We've never met. We have communicated on social media, but I don't know you. I've seen you around, but I do not know you. While all this is going on and transpiring, Carl has to let us know that he does not believe that Bando is gay. So, Carl, my question for you is, do you think Bando is gay for pay? Because the way he be kissing on Scotty, that man's gay. Now, he might like a little puss, but don't we got a term for that? Wouldn't that be considered bisexual? I'm asking. I just want clarity. So after all the tea was discussed in a confessional, Carl lets us know that he actually believes Bando because Bando produced receipts, true receipts. When James showed him the conversation, it was one page. When Bando showed him the conversation, it was the whole thing. So Bando, I'm so happy that didn't look as crazy as some of these other antics you be having going on. But I'm glad that y'all was able to speak about it and clear the air. So after all of that, they wrap it up. They say their goodbyes, and we move along to the next scene. And the next scene is going to be Miss JT, who meets up with none other than DiiJai. And honestly, I've been waiting on this meetup here. I've been waiting on this meetup because I wanted to see how Miss JT addressed finding out how Delon felt about this situation coming from DiiJai himself. So they meet, they sit down, they go through their pleasantries. DiiJai does throw a little shade, and Miss JT caught the shade and she didn't like the shade. So in her confessional, paraphrasing, she just said, all right now, I'm going to keep it cute, but when I come for you, don't get surprised. Sidebar, I will say that this is one of the first shows, whether it's web reality or reality, that have receipts, produce receipts, and we don't actually have to go search for the receipts. They put the receipts in the episode. So bravo to you guys. I love that about this web reality show. With this being your first season, please make sure you continue this on for the fruition of, the duration of the time that this series is gonna be blessed upon us. But anyways, getting back to the show, DiiJai inquires on what was taking place with Miss JT and her roommate, and DiiJai made a statement like, I know we go through our banter, but at the end of the day, I want to check on you. I want to make sure that you're cool. And Miss JT basically tells him that there was a switch between, within her roommate, and she don't know if it was a coke rant or what it was, but it spiraled out of control. The blogs end up picking it up, and then she's out here doing damage control, defending herself, when in all actuality she was the one that got attacked. So after they discussed that, Miss JT wanted to hear from DiiJai himself about, the conversation that he had with Delon and Delon's true feelings about the situation. Now, Miss JT, I'm going to have to pull on your cute little pink cat here, because with all that was said in the confessionals, after meeting with all the other collectives, you stated that you talked to Delon after his grand opening, when you were dealing with your situation, when he was checking in on you and checking up on you. So it appears that you know about Delon's true feelings behind the situation, but Delon may not be aware that you're aware of the true situation. That's how I'm reading it as a viewer. And if how I'm reading it as a viewer is correct, my question to you would be, why you didn't bring up the situation to him so we can end all these telephone games? It's not really a problem for you, but it's starting to become a problem because he's discussing it with everybody else that's not you. You have a valid point to feel that way, but now that you know and he still hasn't addressed it, it's your duty to go and address it. Like, hey, I've been hearing in the streets of Potomac, Delon, that you were feeling some kind of way about me addressing these individuals being here. And if that's true, can we have a true conversation? Because I don't need anything destroying our friendships. That's how I would handle it. But hopefully you guys come together and take care of this problem, because it's really not a problem. I don't think it's a huge problem. Now, I will say that everything that DiiJai has said in his confessional was 100% factual. And he said, I do not do this drama shit. All this he said, she said, I don't do nothing for me. At the end of the day, this shit is not putting no money in my pocket. So my advice to both of them is have a conversation and set some boundaries. In other words, bump pussies and get over it. And I am with you 1000%, DiiJai. Had a conversation. We are grown. Did it. Because it's not that serious. So after that, they get their food packed up and ready to go. We move on to the next scene. And the next scene is Bando at the studio. And he meets with his producer. I forgot the name he said. But he meets with his producer because he has a collab with Prince Derek Dow, and he's going to drop his verse down. He's also invited Scotty and Delon to be in attendance so they could just hang back and kiki. But later on, we find out DiiJai also got the invite as well. So after chopping it up with his producer, he goes in the booth and he lay down his verse. And that's when Scotty and Delon arrives. Scotty in his confessional said, whenever Bando calls, I'm going to go there and I'm going to support, even though he got me in Timbuktu, far away from my house. Whenever Bando calls, I'm there. And I feel you, I'm there too. When my man call, I don't care what's going on, I'm there. So we find out after Bando lays down the track and the producer is mixing it. They sit down, they drink, they having little dark beverages. And Bando is sick of DiiJai excuses. He wants to know why he isn't here. It is always something. No transportation. Gotta work. This schedule don't meet this. And he is just fed up. So Scotty comes in to defend his friend. He's like, don't do my friend like that. And Bando had to let Scotty know, like, that nigga my friend too, the fuck? Every time I extend an invite, it's always an excuse. And we're going to delve into that a little later down in the review. But we do find out with a little bit of tea from Delon that Miss JT's roommate calls Delon on a three-way with a Bills bondman asking if he can help him get out. And Delon like, oh no, we cool, we acquaintances, but you calling me on a three-way asking, can I buy you out? I'm not putting my name on no paperwork, baby. That can interfere with my career, my job. They can show up at my job. No, we cool, but we ain't that cool. We are not cool enough for me to put my name on a piece of paper. And baby, I'm with you. I don't even know if I'll do that for my kids, depending on what's going on. You know? So, with that being said, Delon kept it cute and said, no, we ain't that friendly. So in the midst of Delon telling his story, Bando is trying to figure out what's the connection between Delon and said roommate, who we end up finding out that they call him Nice Time. I don't know where the hell they got their name from, but they call him Nice Time. And from everyone's perspective, Nice Time don't seem like he a nice time, but he got some jail time, i.e. Bando quoted that. It seemed like everyone felt like that Miss JT and Nice Time wouldn't be of acquaintance or be in a space where they would be in a living situation, but somehow they ended up in a living situation, however they may be. But they ended up in a living situation and ended up not being good for Miss JT. And everybody is really concerned about her well-being and her safety. And Scotty also clocked that he was not feeling how, the audience on the blogs was trying to villainize her, because she wasn't wrong in that sense. She was the one being attacked. But one thing in the confessional, Bando made it very clear that he was done with DiiJai's antics and is really starting to piss him off. And honestly, it comes off like you fuck with me, but you don't fuck with me. And if you don't fuck with me, let me know so I can know how to go forward with my relationship with you. Because it's going to be awkward with you being Scotty's man and he being Scotty's best friend. So y'all definitely need to clear the air. So with all that being said, Bando called his producer in and they let Scotty and Delon hear the finished product of this collab. And based off the room, the looks in the room, and the sound in the room, it's definitely a bop. And that was the end of the episode. This episode, I am going to give it a B, because we really focus on this whole Delon told DiiJai told Scotty told Bando had a conversation with JT, this whole telephone game thing. And I'm sick of that already, because it's not really a big deal. So I just want them to solve the problem as quickly as possible. But overall, the editing is getting better. The quality of the episode is getting better. I do feel like I know you guys personally. I really would like to thank you guys for sharing your intimate and vulnerable stories with us as viewers. I am enjoying it. You guys show actually helps me stay consistent with my channel. So with that being said, if you made it all the way to the end of this review, do me a favor, drop a green heart, have some Discord with me, comment, make sure y'all comment, because I really would like to hear you guys' perspective on this show. Like, what do y'all think? But anyways, that's it. That's all. Again, I'm your girl, Miss O, with the Reality Check Report, and I am checking out.